Hi everyone and welcome to episode 095 of the WA Running Podcast. We're recording on Monday the 3rd of November 2025. In this week's episode we are joined by someone to talk through their experiences at the recent 24-hour World Championships in France back on the 18th to the 19th of October. In local results, we've got the John Gilmour 10,000 metres, we've got the Strive Program B, we've got the Perth Duathlon and Runningworks Festival, and we've got a preview for the upcoming Freo Running Festival this coming Sunday. We've got our usual Simon Says, and we'll wrap the episode up with our weapons of warp. Across my screen is someone who I guess I would say is a co-worker on the WA Running Podcast. He's not in the 55 to 59 age bracket, although there is a Christopher Shaw signed up to Freo this Sunday. Chris, the Metronome Shaw, how are you, mate?
I'm good, Simon. I wish I was racing this Sunday, and I wish I had sent my name down as Chris Shaw on the WA Marathon Club register, but no, it'll be the other Chris Shaw, the 55 to 59, that'll be racing on the weekend, unfortunately.
Do you know that, Chris, by any chance?
No, I don't know many other Shaws, to be honest with you.
Yeah, fair enough. Across the other side of my screen is someone who I would say is a co-worker. I see her on a day-to-day basis for my 9-to-5 job, but she's also the team manager for the 24-hour Australia team that represented Australia at the recent 24-hour track championships in France. Hayley Boneham, welcome to the WA Running Podcast.
Hi guys, thanks for having me.
So I knew about your little venture in France because you kept harping on about it for the last couple of months. But let's get straight into it. So how did you get involved in an opportunity like this?
So AUTRA, or the Australian Ultra and Trails Running Association, is our peak body over here in Australia for like endurance running and endurance races. So I've been a member and a WA state rep for them for a number of years now, and I've also had the privilege of crewing a couple of athletes for previous world and Asian champs, and I guess they thought I'm pretty organised. I got the call up to see if I wanted to help out at this World Champs.
So when did you get the call? How far back was it? And how did it all play out?
Yeah, look, I think it was about 3 months or so before the champs. So they announced so selectors choose the athletes, I think, about the same time. So I think I kind of got told maybe, I think, a few days before the athletes did. And then, it's a really quick 3 months to get everything organised and get the team over there.
So what's the role of the team manager?
There's lots of names you could call me. I probably won't say them on this podcast, but no. Just all the logistics. So, like organising all the uniforms, hotel transfers, accommodation, all of our paperwork, application. I guess getting across the rules. When I'm over there, going to technical briefings, kind of uniform meetings, coordinating captain meetings, athlete meetings, crew meetings, selecting the crew, because we took over 6 crew as well, so selecting them, supporting them, and then supporting the crew on the day, and it's a 24-hour event, so there's a lot to do when we get there.
Yeah. So Australia had 11 athletes that included the likes of Holly Ranson, who did very well, and we, the WA Running Podcast knows of her because she took out Margaret River Ultra earlier this year. How strong was the Australian team? And what were our chances, leading into it?
Yeah, look, I would say it's probably the strongest team we've ever sent over for a World Champs. It could have been a little bit stronger if Phil Gore came with us, but you know, he had bigs on that weekend, so can't hold that against him. But no, look, the women were super strong. We had the likes of Holly Ranson, Marie Connor, Jenny White, Cassie Cohen, Karina Black, and Carrie Gleason. They're all from the East Coast. They're all amazing ultra runners with quite a few national records. So if you don't know who they are, look them up. And in terms of the men, we had John Yoon, David Vroom, Luke Thompson, Grant Brisbane, and Joe Ward, who are some also really awesome runners, particularly with the 24-hour format. So look, it was a pretty strong team. I think for us, it was more kind of the strategy was focused on the first 6 hours. If that goes to plan, then, you know, we could start having conversations about the podium. The women, then they delivered. They executed that quite well. So Holly, in terms of an individual result, she took silver. She got 274 kilometres in the 24 hours. And I think the women's team, we also came second place. So the women, I'm trying to remember what we got. I think it was something like 744.6 kilometres as a team result. The men, didn't have the race they wanted, but they still came 18th out of, I think, 45 countries, which is still like a massive result. They had a lot of issues, but they did really, really well as well. So, yeah, look, going into it, I guess we were pretty just focused on our race. 24-hour format, anything can happen, right?
Yeah. I mean, who are the favourites heading into it?
So there's Alexander Sorokin. So he is from Lithuania. He's got a number of world records. His Wikipedia page is pretty impressive. He's the current world record holder for that format. I think it's like 319 kilometres. And the female, well, there's a couple. So there's a Japanese runner, Miho Nakata. So she, up until that championship, she was the world record holder. She had 270, I think. And there was also US Camille Herron, who has a bunch of world records in other formats as well. So there was a lot of chatter around them. I think the day before, Sorokin and Camille actually pulled out of the race. So it kind of opened things up a little bit. Yeah. So, yeah, that made it an exciting race, I guess.
Yeah, cool. So you were talking about, you had the opportunity to pick 6 crew members. I mean, crewing for a 24 hours race must suck. But I guess what was the crewing experience like? I guess looking, from a team manager point of view, but how does one crew a 24-hour track race, I guess, compared to something like a backyard ultra?
Yeah, it's a lot harder. And maybe you should ask Gemma Gore that, actually, because she's done both formats. So she'd be a good one to talk about that as well. But the backyard, you get time, right? It's you've got an hour to sort things out, and you're only actually crewing for one athlete. With us, we had 6 crew for 11 athletes. So they're kind of crewing multiple athletes. And it was a 1.5 kilometre kind of loop that starts and finishes in a stadium. So we had minimal visibility. We're stuck in 2 3x3 marquees, all sharing space, got nutrition, got clothing, got ice, got everything set up. And it's nonstop. It's, so many things can go wrong in a 24-hour event, and you've got 11 athletes, so it's just kind of troubleshooting. So the poor crew, they barely get a chance to kind of take a breath and take a minute, but they're awesome. And it's, they've got to keep the energy going as well, because if the athletes are, having a bad hour, they've got to be composed and positive. So yeah, I feel like the athletes will say they've got the hardest job running for 24 hours, but I disagree. I feel like the crew have the harder job.
Yeah, it's certainly a big operation, bringing all those people over. I guess some things I've heard recently, not in necessarily in this format, but in all formats from Australian athletics perspective, is, financial support for athletes and things like that. And I'd be interested to know what it's like taking a team of 11 athletes over to France, and crew members and a management team. Are those things funded? Or are people effectively self-funding these trips?
Yeah, unfortunately, Chris, they're self-funding. We've got, so it's just, it's the athletes. The athletes also nominate crew as well, crew that they feel familiar with, crew that have experience. And generally an athlete is paying for that crew member as well. So that's flights, that's accommodation, that's transfers, that's, all of the things. Also some of them, having a world champs in Albi, southeast of France, you need time to acclimatise, to get through the jet lag, and that's a long time to be away from your families, and a lot of the athletes have young families, so some of them were taking their families over as well. So you can imagine what the cost is for that. I'm currently talking to the AUTRA president about what we can do in future around getting a sponsor for that format for the Australian team. So if there's anyone out there that wants to sponsor these athletes, we've got Asian champs next year in May. Sorry, I just couldn't help myself there. Yeah, look, I think we need to have a team sponsor because it's hard. I mean, the athletes can individually fundraise, they can look for individual sponsors, but at the same time, they're representing Australia. There's kind of world athletic rules, and there's also international ultra association rules. So they can't have any visible logos, they can't do any promos. It's really tricky. Yeah, so it's a lot of pressure on the athletes.
What about like other countries then? Do they face the same issues, or are some countries better funded than others, and therefore that's reflective of their performances?
Absolutely. Some of them are better funded or partially funded. The US is funded. It could be some are just funded, they get their uniforms funded, or they might get flights funded, or, partial funding to cover certain things. And, you can definitely see it. The US team as an example, they're a pretty competitive team, even without Camille. So you can definitely see that, but it's a tricky one, and I guess it's up to that country's association as well on what they can do and how big that sport is in that country as well. There's a lot of smaller countries where ultra running is not that big, and so unfortunately the money's not there.
Well, I feel like nowadays in Australia, at least, we are performing quite well on the world stage. So you'd expect that would then be reflected, in terms of compensation or whatever to people in future events. Hopefully, that funding does come through.
Absolutely, yeah.
So the 24-hour format itself, I'd be really interested to know. So obviously Phil Gore couldn't be in two places at the same time, otherwise there'd be some serious questions asked. What is it that what kind of rules? We kind of know the backyard ultra rules, but like, what are the rules around a 24-hour race, and what can get you disqualified?
A few things, to be honest. So it starts and finishes in a stadium, and it kind of goes outside the stadium. So it's 1.5 metre track, kilometre track rather. You can't get any aid or assistance from anywhere other than the tent. So other than your team tent. So you can't even have someone yelling out, kind of coaching on the sidelines or taking water on the sidelines or anything like that. They have a warning system, kind of like a red, yellow card system, and then you kind of, disqualified. They have rules around crew, so they're very strict on crew. So for the amount of athletes we were taking, we could only have 5 crew within the tent the whole time, and we had 1 crew who was a bit of a rover gopher on the outside. But that's really strict, so that if you have too many people in the tent, that's an issue as well. They also have a big one around music, so you can't be all around phones, so you can't have your phone on the track. So all the athletes that listen to music, they've had to go get an MP3 player, which has been pretty tricky because there's not many places that sell them anymore. But for 24 hours, you kind of need some music. So, having to go out and get MP3 players. Then just a couple of the other ones around uniform and your shoes and rules around that.
Yeah, right. That's pretty wild. So people out there with mini discs and stuff on the track.
Absolutely, in their pocket. Yeah. Holly, actually, the poor thing, she got her MP3 player was kind of rubbing against her hip the whole time, and she's come away with a massive bruise from an MP3 player. Who would have thought?
Yeah. So what's the toilet situation? Like I know I've talked to you about this at work. So what's the toilet? So you're on this 1.5 kilometer loop or track. So I'm gonna assume there's designated toilets at some point along that 1.5k loop.
Correct. Yeah.
Do people bend the rules in terms of what they can get away with?
Yeah, you already know the answer to this, Simon. You just want me to say it on the podcast. Yes and yes. So there are toilets strategically placed on the track there. If you're a female, you're at a bit of a disadvantage compared to the males because the males can easily go on the track, and they do. It is frowned upon.
That's wild.
It is frowned upon. It happens a lot. So if you're seen to do it, there's a bit of a strike against your name there, but they do it. Women, we know women that have worn cups and just to keep going because obviously if you think, every toilet break is time. So there has been athletes in the past, not from our country, but from other countries that have just gone on themselves as they were running. And I think some more rules have come in place because of that, because if you're on a track, this race was 1.5 Ks, Asian Oceanic Champs, I think it was a 400-metre track. So you're running pretty closely behind someone. If someone's going to the bathroom on the track, that's not really a pleasant experience for you. So, they've had to kind of crack down a little bit.
Yeah.
But, yeah, time is money.
Yeah, hopefully it's a number one and not a number two.
Look, if you got to do what you got to do, Chris.
just shitting on the track, Chris.
Maybe we'll see Paul the Kenyan out there next year.
Yeah, definitely.
That's a reference to Smithy, by the way. I had a question there, and it slipped my mind. It sounds like with all these rules and restrictions, it sounds a little bit just like a North Korea simulator to me.
Oh, look, it's all a load of fun. You guys should try the format.
I'm sure Simon's up for it. He's already registered for Hurdies, so he's
he is.
Maybe after Hurdies I'll be hooked. Yeah, I know I talked to you about this before. So how does one qualify to the Australia team? Is there like a set distance and set races? Because obviously 24-hour track races are, few and far between. It seems like anyone can do a backyard ultra. There's like heaps around, but it seems like 24 track races are quite niche and small in number.
Yeah, so it just has to be a recognised 24-hour race, and it has to be within 2 years of the championship event that you can get the qualifier, so it can last for 2 years. So there's A, B and C qualifiers for both men and women. I'm going to get this wrong. I feel like with the women, it might be around, let's just say the A qualifier is like 220 or 2 something. I'm going to get that wrong. I'm going to get messages after this. That's the A qualifier. And then there's a B and a C. So if there's not enough athletes that are getting the A, they'll go down to the B and go down to the C, depending on how many people they're taking over. So you've got to get the qualifier. That is just to kind of, nominate yourself. It then goes to some selectors, and then selectors make a final decision on that team, depending on a number of different things. You kind of get selected, and you generally get told pretty close to the championships. I think they're going to look at changing that next year, because it's pretty hard to plan. But in terms of what type of qualifier event, yeah, look, there is none in WA. There's a few on the East Coast that have them, but we don't actually have one here.
Is there any kind of interest to get that started, or?
I think so. I think absolutely it'd be good to have one here, but there's a lot involved from a race director's point of view, in terms of having that as a nationally recognised event. You know, because obviously it needs to. We're looking at, you know, the course distances here. So it's I don't know if there's any race directors out there that want to take on this kind of format. Yeah, like absolutely. That would be amazing for us to have something here. We have really strong talent in WA in this format. In previous years, we've had a number of people from WA. So, yeah, that'd be good. It'd be good for more Perth people to get over there. But, yeah, at this stage, it's easier if you're on the East Coast to go over.
For sure. And what about yourself? Like, is running for 24 hours on a track interest you?
It does, actually. It's really funny. After the race, we were having a few drinks and we were talking about that. And I was like, yeah, it kind of does. I think from the mental perspective, I'm quite good at that. Simon knows I've been really injured for the good part of a year. So whether or not my body would let me do that is another story. But yeah, I think it is the mental challenge. It's really hard to kind of push your body for that long.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that kind of running excites me, and also like I'm used to running laps around Lake Munga. I'm happy to run around a 1.5k track for hours. I'm okay with that. It's not everyone's cup of tea though.
Yeah. I mean, I can attest the fact that Hayley's got a better mindset than me. I don't think I could do laps in on end. Yeah,
you're going to find out in March.
Yeah, true. I feel like I think I don't know if I spoke to you about this, Hayley, but I think the thing that's going to stop me from doing an extra yard at Hurdies is I'm going to sit down and then I'm not going to be wanting to get up again. So I feel like my issue will be, do I stand, or because if I sit, I feel like I'm not going to be wanting to get up again. So
that's when the mindset comes in.
Yeah, I know. Weak mindset. Yeah. Anyway, so what's next for the AUTRA group? And I guess, you know, is there anything for the rest of the year, or maybe what's the plans for next year?
Yeah, look, so I think in terms of this format, there's the Asian and Oceanic Championships in Japan next end of May. So I think there's already some chatter around that in terms of, I think the sponsor was some big conversations that we've been having. Cool. So, yeah, I would say applications won't open for a while for that. So if there's any WA runners that want to throw their hat in the ring, that's a really good race. It's in Japan. But yeah, there's a number, AUTRA on the AUTRA website have all of the like Australian events registered on there. So there's a number of WA events on there as well, and East Coast events if you were into that.
Wicked. I mean, I don't think I'll be throwing my hat into the ring.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Maybe I reckon you might have a change of heart, Simon, after 30s. I think the longer distance might give you a taste, and potentially, you know, we've had this talking about transcend it like last year. You know, we're talking about ultra running. Maybe you know, there's a big shift on the podcast. You know.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah. Linda might have different opinions to that. Yeah. All right. Well, let's get into our training week. So, Hayley, I know you were just saying a sec ago about, you know, you've been injured for quite some time, but you're slowly getting back into it. So what's been, I guess, the return to running or return to hiking been? And yeah, how's your running been? So, up to this point.
My running has almost been non-existent, apart from a couple of social runs with the Wolves crew. But I have done a number of hikes in Europe. But yeah, no, in all seriousness, I think it's time to get back to work now. The injury is almost healed, and we've got Herdies, so I've got to get back to it.
Yep. So you've done a couple of hikes, in your time away, and you did coast trek Margaret River over the weekend. So I guess, I know it's hiking, but do you feel like you are at a point where you could return to run at some point in the near future?
I think it's down to my physio, Phoebe, at front runner. If she says yes, then I'm all for it.
No.
Yeah, I think so. I think, I think, watch my Strava in the next few weeks, Simon.
Okay, sounds good. And what do you have next in the near future? So we know we've got Herdies next year in March. That's ages away.
Yeah.
But do you have anything between now and then?
I said I was going to do Freo half, but I'm not sure.
I'm
registered.
Your name is on the start list. I saw.
Simon was like, message me, you're doing Freo, and I was like, am I? I don't know. He's like, it says you are.
Yeah.
So maybe
it's a maybe. Yeah. Look, it's I think I was expecting me to be a little bit fitter than I am. Anyway, who knows? Ask me tomorrow.
Yeah, it's just a half marathon.
It's just a half. Just a cheeky half.
Well, looking forward to seeing you this Sunday, Hayley. Running Freo. How about yourself, Chris? How's your running been?
Yeah, running has been light of late. So, I probably haven't spoken about it on the podcast in a while because it's been that long since I've been on a regular episode. But I've been since Perth Marathon 3.5 weeks ago. I've been running through. But even before that, to be honest, I've been running through a bit of ITB pain, or awareness, and that was, I've kind of just been pushing. I pushed that to the side up until Perth Running Festival, and got through the running festival with almost no pain or awareness. But the week afterwards, I went for a trail run with Audie, because often in my book, the way to fix problems is to run hills. But on this instance, it didn't work. So it actually sent me into a bit of a spiral. So I had a bit of a bad week the week after that, and tried to run through. I did a session that the week before last, and then I think got to a run with yourself and Hannah, Simon, in which the whole 12 Ks was pretty painful, kind of 5 out of 10 pain. So I pulled the pin on running for a week to give it a bit of a rest. I've been to see the physio twice, and the feedback I've had from the physio is that I obviously I've been going to the gym, so that's not so much of a problem. It's just maybe a little bit more specific work on trying to my hamstrings and my glutes, just specifically around like glute bridges and things. But otherwise, just had to kind of make that twice a week rather than once a week. And the advice was to continue running. So basically I'm allowed to run through a portion of pain, so up to 3 out of 10, which I tried to do, and it was kind of a little tough. But so this week just gone, to summarize, I'm bambling, but I've been on the bike 3 times last week. I've been on the bike 3 times. I went to the gym twice, and I have run 3 times. And that first, so I've limited my runs to 30 minutes just to make sure I'm not overloading. And the first run I did on Monday or Tuesday, had a bit of pain still in the second half of that, so the last 15 minutes. But it was a manageable amount of pain. But then the next run 2 days later, pain-free, and then I ran pain-free yesterday. So slowly, I think, but surely we'll start to increase the length of time which I'm going to be running for the next few weeks, but just going to take it slow because I don't really have anything on the horizon. I was really hoping to race Fremantle this weekend, but given where I'm at, with 3 weeks of pretty interrupted running, there's no point racing it. So instead, you'll find me on the lead bike for the women in the 10K. So riding a shitbox fixie around.
Beautiful. Will you be riding fast enough?
I'm pretty quick on the fixie, so yeah.
Yeah, good.
I'm based on some of the names there. I reckon I should be able to keep up. So it'll be good fun. And just I think that the order of the I guess from now on it'll just be continuing to maintain 3 rides a week and then slowly introduce more running and hoping by the end of the year I'll be running kind of 4 or 5 days a week again. But and doing sessions, but we'll see. Yeah.
I mean, how has Maddie found the reduced running over the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, she's loved it. She's had a great time having me home at all hours of the morning when I'm obviously not out running for 2 hours every morning. So it's been good. I mean, to be honest, I've enjoyed it too. It's been nice to have a bit of a mental break. Because I've been putting a lot of pressure on myself for 2 or 3 years to maintain a consistent running regime, and eventually that grinds to a halt. So yeah, it's good to have a bit of a mental break as well. Just kind of shift the focus a little bit and just try and enjoy the rest of the year. And then next year hit some bigger goals. But yeah, for now, just kind of take it easy and see what happens. Maybe I'll stop running after this year.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I feel like you've done 100K weeks consistently for the last 2 or 3 years, right? Like even when you weren't training for anything, you were still maintaining a decent amount of mileage. Yeah,
like the goal for this year was to run like 6,000 Ks, right? So it won't happen now. I'll be pretty well short of that. But that's I'm not upset about that at all because it's the perspective is that I'm still able to run and I'm still able to be active, and I get to spend time with my family. So it's okay,
It's not bad.
Yeah.
Very good. All right. So on my training week, I guess since Melbourne, body feels great, which is really nice. I think I was back into the swing of things pretty quickly. Like it didn't take too long for my body to recover. In saying that, I have taken it easy, so it's been reduced volume for the last couple of weeks. So John Gilmour a week ago, was probably my first run at a marathon pace effort, basically, and that felt really good. And then started to get into the sessions in the last week, which is good. I guess I'm in the track era, so I've got a couple of weeks until my first 800 meters, which is fucking terrifying to me. I was talking to Lee, who we know from Let's Cook Run Club, run team, and he was telling me that to run an 800 meters well, you basically send the first lap. And then the second lap, you're basically running. You're trying to hold on to the point that you're seeing your ancestors by, the last 200 meters. So that's fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
But, I feel like 1500, 3000 meters, 5000 meters. I feel like there's some amount of pacing involved, so it's not as terrifying. But I have no idea how to approach the 800 meters. So I'll get to find out about that on the 28th of November. I've got my spikes, so I went to the running center, get myself some spikes. So they feel pretty comfortable. I got the On Citius 2. So they fit my fat feet, which is good. But yeah, it's going to be brutal.
Are you going to do a session in those spikes beforehand, or?
Yeah, I was looking up the WA Athletics Stadium website. I think you can get like a casual entry like during daytime hours. So I might sneak out during work hours and do a quick sesh down there just to try them out for a session. I think Raf told me a 800 meter predictor workout, so I'd like to attempt that just to even like gauge how fast it go in 800 because I don't know if surely I don't sprint it. Sure.
Well, yeah, I'm having not run 100 meters since I was 14, so I don't know what sprinting feels like. But sprinting to me feels like anything that's faster than a 5K. So, interesting. I think the thing, and I say this with all respect to you, like if in terms of pacing, like I guess if you're not at the front of the race, it's not tactical for you, right? It's very much just a time trial. So depending on who you're running against, but I'm assuming that there will be some 15-year-olds there that will lay down a 2-minute 800, and you'll be left in the dust. But I think I don't think you won't know until you've tried it, and maybe you have to do a couple of them over the summer to really get a taste for it.
Exactly. Yeah. They'll probably grade me, right? So I'll be well back in the pecking order.
You're probably the only one to have run a marathon out of anybody there, though. So
yeah, probably true. That'll be my shit talking. So I've got the 800 end of November, and I think I'm backing that up the following Friday with a 1500. So there's no rest for the wicked there, and I think it's basically I think I've got something on every week until end of Jan, basically. So
nice.
I'm using track as a way to get faster, and I think the aim is to bring my 5K time down, which officially is still over 18 minutes. So if I can bring that down as low as possible, that'd be great. And I think reflecting from the marathon 3 weeks ago, I'm actually not that interested in doing a marathon anytime soon, which in a way is actually quite refreshing. So I spoke to Tina in the last week. 2026 is basically to get faster in all the distances. And I've kind of given myself a goal of if I can run under 78 minutes in a half, maybe that'll tempt me to do another marathon again. So until that happens, kind of not that interested. And even like reflecting 3 weeks on from Melbourne was great. Like conditions wise, Melbourne was perfect, but I still sweated like a fucking pig after 5Ks. So I think the only time I'll do a marathon again is if I can convince Linda that going to Japan for a marathon is a great idea for the family. And until that happens, no marathons anytime soon. It's the game plan.
Yeah, it's probably a wise decision for them from a family perspective. Hayley, how about you? Have you got a history of track running?
No, none.
Any desire to hop on an 800 meters?
I'm not quick enough. I'm a long distance runner. Yeah, I'm too slow.
What is the longest race? What is the longest race you've done?
Race or distance?
Oh, distance.
I've done I've done a 24-hour. No, distance. No, hang on. Have to go check. 140, I think about 140 is my longest, I reckon.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
Just short of a miler.
So the plan for Herdies is to obviously do 24 yards, ideally. Is that the game plan?
24 yards?
Yeah.
24 hours.
24 hours, yeah.
24 hours.
No,
that's the game plan.
Herdies. Yeah.
That's the game plan. 24 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that'll take you to 160 odd. Yeah.
That's a miler, yeah. And so Simon was originally thinking that I'd crew for him. And then when my hammy started getting better, I was like, no, I'm going to do it. And I'm going to do 24, and I'm going to make you do that with me, Simon. So,
nah, you'll beat him, Hayley. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm in a way glad that Hayley's doing it because then she'll be too busy in the hurt locker, and I'll just slowly duck to the side and quit. Yeah.
No, I don't feel like you're going to be let off very easily. There's going to be too many people that know you there. That's the problem.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah.
Ages away. It's
out there now. You can't retract.
Yeah, maybe. Yep. All right, let's get into results. So we had the Marathon Club John Gilmour 10,000 meter track race on Friday the 24th of October down at Coker Park in Cannington. It was actually a great night. Yeah, there was. I think the weather forecast was bucking down with rain and wind, but not in Cannington. That's for sure. So. We unfortunately don't have the official results, and I'm going to blame our friend David Perich for that because it seems like there were timing chip issues on the night, so we don't have the official results. But in the A race, we did know that Nikhil Redapalli took out the win in 32.26, and that's a PB for Nikhil. So congrats, Nikhil. Soto came second in a time of 33.30, and Liam Fury came third. Liam actually looks a lot like you, Chris. just an older version of you. But he came third in 33.51. He said it was his first 10,000 meter track race in 14 years. So pretty speedy run there by Liam there in 33.51. We had Carlos pacing both races. So he paced the first race doing 4-minute Ks for the first 5 Ks. And then he was pacing Nikhil and Sota going 32.30 pace for, I think, 5 Ks as well. So nice chill run by the head chef there. But congrats Nikhil for getting the win. I think... So I was doing the A race. I paced our mate David Newen with Uncle Aldwin on the 42.30 bus, and that felt pretty comfortable for us. We managed to get Dom Crouch and Jesse DeRoy from Double to jump on the 42.30 bus, and it was a pretty fun event. The boys kind of smashed it. I think Dom was low 42s. I think Jesse was also low 42s, and we managed to squeeze David in 42, I think 28 from the top of our heads. So it was a pretty sweet event. I think it's a shame it's 2 weeks after PRF, and it's a Friday night, and no one's really keen on running 25 laps on a Friday night in Cannington, but it's a pretty nice event. There's like a lot of it's no pressure running, right? You compare that to doing a Strive event in the stadium with a lot of eyes watching, and it's a lot of pressure. But I think rocking up on a Friday night, and it's a pretty nice chill vibe. It's a pretty nice event. So you and I did it last year. And I think I'll use John Gilmour as my sort of A race next year in the 10K. So there weren't any women in the A race, which is a shame. So we don't have any results there. But hopefully some more people next year. We've got the Strive Program B also on the same night. Chris, take it away.
Yeah, same night, different location, but apparently the weather was absolutely awful. So I'm not sure what pocket of air that Cannington was sitting in, but I remember the forecast that night and it wasn't beautiful. So you did very well to get away with it. But, over at the HBC, it was bucketing with rain and windy. So we had an 800 and a 3,000 metres that night. The women's 800 was won by Chloe Dartnell in 2 minutes 16 seconds, followed by Vivian Letessier in 2:17 and then Imogen Russell in 2:17. The men's was won by Benjamin Patterson in 1:57 ahead of Ezra Kirschenstein-Grieve in 1:57 and Theodore Kenworthy-Groen in 1:58. Now, Groen is actually a Dutch name, I think, and a former colleague of mine, his surname was Groen, so I'm not sure if there's a relationship there. But, interesting. I think, looking between the lines there, Simon, I don't think you got a chance in hell of running any of those times. Very quick from everyone there. in the first 800 of the season. The 3,000 metres, the women's was won by Lila Stewart in 10 minutes 17 seconds, followed by Maddie Luscombe in 10:19, and then Madeline Taylor in 10:28. The men's was won by Jonah Hanakiri in 8:35, Oliver Stanfield McDonald in 8:43, coming in second, and then your mate, another mate of Pearsall, Liam Dardengo in 8:46, coming third. So yeah, great running there, everyone. Looking forward to seeing those track results come through for the remainder of the season. Now we had the Perth Duathlon and Runningworks Festival. That was on the 27th or 26th of October, I think. It was on the Sunday.
Sunday.
That was out at Champion Lakes down Rockingham Way. So obviously they have the duathlon there, but we're not going to read anything to do with bikes on this show. We had the half marathon, 10K and 5K results out there. The guys put on a really good event. So, and it's a flat, fast course, a 5K loop. So some of the times here will reflect that. The men's half marathon was won by Bradley Gould in 1 hour and 12 minutes, followed by Dylan Symes in 1 hour 15, and then Nick Marler in 1:23, coming third. The women's race was won by Rachel Smith in 1 hour 20 minutes, third overall, followed by Danielle Halliday in 1:34 and Brenda Almstrom in 1 hour and 40 minutes. Now, the 10K was won by the fast child Kaylin Bennett, 33 minutes and 48 seconds, followed by Smithy, who looked to be on pacing duties. I'm not sure. He must have dropped his mate because he didn't end up anywhere on the podium, but 36 minutes and 11 seconds there for Smithy. And then Riley Kerr in 37 minutes and 15 seconds. Riley's only a kid too. I think he's one of Nikola Radosevic's mates. And so he's like 15 or 16, so that's rapid. We had the women's 10K was taken out by Claudia Seke in 41:48, followed by Vicky Hassel in 48:52, and then Jill O'Brien coming third in 49:32. The 5K men's was won by Ronan Phillips-Johns in 16 minutes 45 seconds, followed by Victor Fleming O'Loughlin in 18:19, and then Nicholas Broadbent coming third in 19:23. Emily Murray won the women's 5K in 20 minutes 21 seconds, followed by Luciana Healy Sola in 23:38, and then finally Courtney Willie in 29:01. So don't laugh, Simon.
Oh, you're so immature, you boy.
I know.
I wasn't laughing.
No, I apologize. I'm sure it's Wiley anyway. So
it's Wiley, yeah.
Yeah, that's my bad. No, congrats everyone. Hayley's shaking her head, and I'm a child. So Simon,
we're really sorry, Courtney.
Get on with the Blackwood Marathon Relay, an event which features numerous various trades of sporting achievement. I don't even know what you'd call it, but please elaborate.
I don't know. Hayley, have you ever heard of the Blackwood Marathon Relay?
I have heard of it. Yes, I think on the socials. Yes, it's. I would actually like to go and spectate, to be honest.
Yeah, it's got weird disciplines in an event. So it consists of a run, a canoe, a swim. You could do an equestrian if you've got a bloody horse on you.
This sounds like it's up Vicky's alley, actually.
Vicky was telling us that she was trying to look for someone who had a horse to compete in this event, but it's in its 46th year. It spans 60 Ks from Boyup Brook to Bridgetown.
It's very Downton Abbey, I feel like, you know.
I you know what, you're right, Hayley. I'd be interested in spectating this one year, but look, we'll just focus on some of the notable runs. So Stu Caulfield was down there. He did the 12.4K run leg in 43 minutes, so that's pretty rapid by Stu. We had Ambrose Foley coming second in the team event. He did the run leg in 48:49, and Loz was also down there. She did the run leg in 54:19. So if we can find ourselves a mate with a horse, I reckon Team Warp needs to. Well, actually, I don't know what I'd do.
I'll
I
stick
cycle
you on
now,
a
mate.
horse,
I
Simon.
cycle.
Yeah.
I'll cycle.
Oh, yep. You cycle,
Vicky can
yeah.
ride the horse if she's got one lying around, and you can do the run if you want, mate. We just need a swimmer and a canoer.
Yeah, easy. Be it next year. There's always next year. All right. Well, what about the New York Marathon?
Yeah, did you guys watch this at all? Because it was pretty fascinating.
Past my bedtime, mate.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'm not running a lot at the moment, so I can stay up late. No, it was actually a really great coverage, as it always is. But another win for Helen O'Beary over Sharon Lakiti in the women's race. She ran 2:19.51 to take out the win and break the previous course record, which was from 2003. So that's a while back, and it was by over 3 minutes. So her second win at New York after a 2022 victory there. Benson Kipruto won in a photo finish over Alex Mutiso in 2:08.09. It was very similar to the World Champs marathon, where we had a dash to the finish taken out by, I think, 0.2 of a second. So, yeah, pretty remarkable finish coming into Central Park there. We had a whole heap of people from Perth or Perth expats running there, including our very own Queen of Kwinana, now the Queen of Columbus Circle, Kat Watt, running a 2:58.10. It looks like you're soul safe, Simon. She's finished a minute behind where she wanted to, but an incredible race. I think Kat said it was probably the toughest race, or one of the toughest courses that she's ever run. So a phenomenal effort there, Kat, and just continuing to build on these races. She's done 3 marathons in 11 months, just continuing to build. And looking forward to seeing what she's got in Chicago next year. There were a bunch of other people from Perth. We had Ryan Shand running 2:45, Daniel Corson 3:04, Sarah Paduano in 3:17. Brian, our good mate Brian Lip, 3:13, another marathon. I think he said it was his 34th of the year, so he's got another 18 to go before he hits 52 for his 52nd year. So I don't know how he's going to do that before January, but I'm sure he's got some things up his sleeve. We had Dawn Barker running 3:49, Laura Rutherford 3:27, and then finally on our list here is Dee McPhee running 3:39. I just wanted to give massive respect to Dee. She just left her run as a morning run, so I'm all about that. She rocked her 2 medals, the second being her Abbott's World Masters Age Group medal, which, as described by Fee, a great pyramid scheme by Abbott's to get her in. So that's great stuff from you there, Fee. Bit of humour. Bit of fun. That's good stuff. We've got plenty of upcoming events here, Simon. Do you want to take us through a couple of those?
Yep, we've got Feral Pig Ultra this Saturday with a lot of distances that I'll never do. 23k all the way to the 100 miler. So good luck to everyone doing that this weekend. We've got Freo Running Festival this Sunday with distances that include the kids dash all the way through to the half. I know we've got the start list, so some names to look out for. I think we'll start with the 5K. We've got Chris Gould and his son. I think whether or not he's pacing his son or whether or not he's going to smoke his son in the 5K, we'll see on Sunday. We've got our very own Dane Sproxton, so we'll see how fast Dane can run a 5K. And we've got friend of the show, Mike Lawson, bouncing back from Melbourne Marathon, so we'll see how he goes. In the women's in the 5K, we've got Amy Buckingham, who's probably the favourite for the 5K. In the 10K, we've got Daniel Russo, we've got Andrew Hellbush, we've got Yoshi, probably in the front end there of the 10K. In the women's race, we've got Rebecca Bolster, Leanne Flugel, and Rochelle Damasi, I think, are the 3 names there for the 10K in the women's race. And then finally in the half, we've got Lucas deep in the Valencia Marathon build. We've got Adam Dolby, who are probably the favourites there in the half. In the women's, it's, anyone's guess with Jules Bennett, Astrid Roberts, Lisa Tyack, and Marlene Lutz. And knowing Loz, she might snag a last minute entry and probably race Frio as well. So keep an eye out on that. I'll be doing the team relay. I've been looking at the competition, and I think Colin Dismuke, a regular weapon of Warp, I think he's probably got it in the bag. So his team is looking to do, I think he said 73 minutes in the half. So
pretty handy, yeah.
Looking pretty rapid there. So they're the team to beat this Sunday. We've got the Run Bib track stage run the weekend of the 14th, the 16th of November. We've got the Turquoise Coast Running Festival on the 16th of November. That's up in Jurien Bay. And we've got the Big Six athletics event on the 22nd of November, where there's 10K worth in prize money to give away. Some events include the 60 metres, the 300 metres, and the elimination mile, which I think is every lap someone gets eliminated until you get a final winner. So that's pretty exciting. In Warp Admin, thank you to those that provided feedback on Perth Running Festival. So we've forwarded that on to the WA Marathon Club. So it was good to have a lot of people, echo your feedback, Chris and Vicky. Was there any new feedback that you saw in the socials from people?
There was a lot of stuff about the course, for sure. I thought Kat's point about the elites or the seeded or priority entries not really having a priority area or zone or something to represent that they'd actually not necessarily earned a spot, but it's being taken care of to some degree. I mean, you've got these people traveling from Kenya, and I'm sure they didn't, Smithy, the likes of those guys, they don't really have a tent or something to really take care of them before or after the race. So I think those kinds of things would be really good. Not everybody provides that feedback, obviously, because they're not at the pointy end. But, if you want to establish yourself as a marquee event for the state, you kind of have to do those things. I think, there was a lot of stuff about the drink stations was echoed. I think a lot of people struggled through that, I think. And the time of year and generally the start time. So I think, a move to make it somewhere in August or September would be, while it might be, it might compete with the likes of Sydney or, other events that are going on earlier in the year. I think, it makes a total sense to push it back 4 to 6 weeks and just enable people to actually appreciate or race in the weather that they've been training in, and that's when you're training in 10 degrees to 15 degree weathers on a Sunday long run, and you go out and you run and it's 25 degrees, it just doesn't add up. So, lots of feedback, and that feedback all comes from a really good place. I think we kind of reiterated in our email that we love what the Marathon Club is doing. We're really appreciative of all this stuff that they put on throughout the year, but from what we understand, the Marathon Club doesn't have total control of the Perth Running Festival. So, they're providing this feedback and the feedback of others who've already delivered it to corporate sports and other entities that are in charge of running the Perth Running Festival, and hopefully the next few years they can start to make some changes that will, produce a better quality and an event, a better quality event that everybody in Perth can be proud of.
I think the other feedback was no one cares about finishing in Optus Stadium.
Yeah, I mean, have you run the Perth Running Festival before, Hayley? Have you finished inside the stadium there?
I haven't. No.
Yeah, well, I can tell you, for someone who's run it 3 times, it's an overrated experience.
I mean, I've watched people running. No,
it's not an MCG experience. They kind of get you into the corner and then back out the other way very quickly. So there's no point finishing in the Optus Stadium. I guess that's the argument for having the event in October is after footy season's over, but it's kind of not worth it. So I think a lot of the feedback from people were echoing that sentiment of, like there's no point finishing off the stadium. Like it's no MCG experience, so you might as well just do it somewhere else, really.
Yeah, there have been plenty of runs over the years that have started at like Langley Park, so that is a logical place. It's the biggest lot of grass you could ever imagine on prime real estate. Somehow it still hasn't been developed, so it would be rude not to do it there, to be honest. But look, we're not in charge. We're just providing feedback, so hopefully that feedback is recognised and kind of we'll start to see the changes made in the coming years.
The other two updates. We've got we've got the Beachside event that Chris Lark is doing in 2026. So he's taking over the Secret Rocky Runners Beachside Run. So it's very exciting for me, traveling 55 minutes down to Rockingham to run a half marathon for a $50 Rebel voucher. So thank you to our Lord and Saviour Chris Lark from Runningworks. Look, he's got a Black Friday sale that is going on to the end of the month. So if you use the code Black Friday, you get 25% off the next year's entries. So Tom Shenton and I are very grateful for you, Chris Lark, and we'll put the link to register in the show notes. And then finally, we've got our next community run next Wednesday at the Running Centre. So that's the 12th of November. We're partnering with Brooks for a wear test and hopefully a pair of Brooks shoes to give away. So that's very exciting. Let's finish the episode off with our weapons of warmth.
Yeah, well, I've got a few to go through here because it's been a couple of weeks since we've had a regular episode, but I'm sure some people from Perth would have seen Liam Kamudu run Frankfurt Marathon last week. And speaking of marathon, so this was his debut marathon. He finished in 2:29:41, came in clutch. His pacing was impeccable. Dropped the hammer after 30 Ks and snuck under that coveted 2-hour 30 barrier. But yeah, in terms of finishing in stadiums, this one looked like you were running into Metro's Freo on a Saturday night. You're running into an indoor covered stadium in the dark. It was, that's an experience, right?
Yeah.
That's something you can't get anywhere else. So that looked awesome, and Liam was absolutely stoked with his run. So congratulations, Liam. Well deserved, mate. I know he's struggled through injuries for the past 12 months ever since he won John Gilmour last year. he's basically had calf problems from here to there, but no, he's strung together some training since he's been over in the UK, and yeah, he's absolutely nailed it there. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he's got coming up in the next next little while. We had Phil Gore take out the world champs over at Big's Backyard Ultra. I think he ran 114. Yeah.
114,
yeah. So, he looked quite comfortable, even though he probably was quite delusional. But he just needs someone to go with him. And unfortunately, right now, there's no one in the world that's able to do it to take him past 120. So, I'm sure he was probably out running a 17-minute 5K a few days later. But we had our very own Vicky doing laps around a gazebo at Halloween. I'm not sure why, but sometimes you just got to get that candy. Darren Chandler, he was testing his carb intake at 130 grams per hour on a 25-kilometre run over the weekend, but 20 kilometres of that run was done around the gym car park. There must have been some really interesting things to look at through the gym windows, I'm sure.
That's nuts.
That is bananas. We had now. I'm going to call out because Jamie Back got called out for a weapon of warp nom. I think back in January when he painted the map of Australia on his Strava on Australia Day. So it was missing Tasmania. That was somewhere in the Swan River, but he got a mention back then. But I'm going to say right now this is probably the weapon of the year. For this particular nom, he flew into Adelaide Tuesday before last in order to race Hasten Ultra Marathon. Now, from the airport, he travelled 67 kilometres on foot overnight in the pissing rain from his airport to his destination in the days leading up to the race. Post race, he walked 24 kilometres from his hotel so his hotel back in Adelaide to the airport to get home on the Tuesday. He stopped to check out at Home Open on the way. Apparently, it was going for $2.75 million. So if anyone's interested, give Jamie a message. And of his race, Jamie managed to run 86 kilometres. So in the course of a week, he's done an extraordinary amount of distance. Unfortunately, he didn't make it through the race. But his feet were so fucked from the commute from the airport to the race that his feet picks put Kate Baker's Margaret River Ultra collection to the shame. So unless anyone steps up in the next couple of months, Jamie's got that one in the bag, I reckon.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like all of the skin from the bottom of his feet was coming off. It was just something to behold. But,
oh my goodness!
If anyone's heard of an Uber,
just trying to see if he could afford that $2.75 million home. That's probably why.
Yeah, that's one for the ages. Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I was skeptical as you were starting to talk about he's got it.
Yeah, 100%. There's no way anyone is going to top that unless they're. Yeah, I can't imagine. Anyhow, before we move on to saying goodbye to everyone, Hayley, I'd like you to let everyone know who's listening, because we failed to ask you at the start. How does everyone get an AUTRA membership, and what does it get you when you're signing up?
Yeah, you could reach out to me. You could go on the website. It's $49 for a year. It's pretty cheap. There's a number of different benefits. The biggest benefit I think most listeners are going to care about is it gives you some discounts to races. So there's a number of races around the country, including quite a few in WA, in Perth, that have 10 to 20% discounts. So you register for 3 races, you've already got your membership back. And there's a whole bunch of perks there. So yeah, it's pretty cheap.
Yeah, seems like a bargain. I looked at the list of races you can enter there, and it's just about everything covered that I've seen on the WA running calendar from a trail perspective. So and it'd be rude not to.
Yeah, we'll include in the show notes. Well, thanks for joining us, Hayley. I'll see you at work tomorrow.
You will. Thanks, guys.
And I guess I'll also see you at Hurdy's when we do 24 hours together. Yeah,
sounds good.
Yep. Nice for you to join me as well, Chris. You can reach us on Instagram at WA Running Pod. Our email is warunningpodcast@gmail.com, and our Strava group is Warp. Thanks for joining us this week, and we'll catch you next time on the WA Running Podcast. See ya.
Peace.
And it's our 1 year anniversary since taking over the pod.
Today?
Yeah, tomorrow. I think tomorrow.
Wowee.
Yeah, no, just thought about it now.
That's right. It was Fremantle Running Festival last year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So,
well, I think last year, the first episode, I had a DNF, and this year episode, 1 year later, it's a DNS. So it's perfect.
Beautiful.